Hey guys, welcome back to the Outpost Way.
Yeah, join us today as we set up our 12x16 canvas tent and our two 8x8 add-on rooms for our last camp trip that we had. We'll be having a video come out on that one here by the end of the week.
Check it out.
You can see the 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts in the treetops, but luckily we picked a really good spot that had good wind cover. Duke was trying to chew his way off his leash.
They got plenty of off-leash time. We had just gotten there, so we hadn't had any time to kind of walk the area.
It was getting late enough in the afternoon. We were expecting a snowstorm, so we were trying to get the tent put up so that we could get some firewood and
get our stove set up in there.
But that dead blow right there, we just got a replacement for it. It is way beyond its expiration date. It has lead shot falling out of it.
Yes.
But our typical angle of attack on putting this tent up is anchoring all the corners in, because that way you can pull the bottom really tight. As you can see, the wind did not blow the tent off the tarp. It was moving the tarp around a little bit, but the tent itself
is heavy enough.
Yeah, it just sits right there on the ground very well.
And here we're just putting the rest of the stakes around the outside of the tent just to really secure it.
It took us 25 minutes from start to finish. This video is 25 minutes long if it wasn't sped up 8 times.
Right.
You do the ridge pole first, nice and quick. They say you can put this up with one person, but man, 2 people makes it
very
so much
thankful
easier.
for having a partner.
Right here's where the snow comes in. You can see the clouds.
And real quick, if anyone has any advice on how to keep those guide wires untangled, please let me know.
Down in the comments, yeah, please, because those guide wires, I've tried just figure 8 knotting them in the bag, but then when you pull them out, they're still all tangled and looped up.
But speaking of that bag, that's a nice durable bag too.
I'd read a lot of complaints before we bought the tent where people had said that the original pole bag for this canvas tent was made out of the nylon, not the canvas, although the one that we got was a very good canvas, durable pole bag. I was definitely happy with it.
And here we are just putting the side poles up and putting the guide wires up.
Just a little too tight. Those storm windows,
yes,
you do have to tie them every time. Not that that's an inconvenience. I mean, It's kind of nice to have the storm window, especially when you're watching out the window through the snowfall.
Seeing right here, you can really see that we pulled it too tight, so he had to go over and kind of loosen it up a little bit, but...
Now we have the ridge pole. If you're tall, you can reach it. Sometimes it depends how much of a dip you're standing in.
But we're just finishing that up. And then we went ahead and put the back 8x8 on, but we didn't film that. You couldn't really see it, so...
You'll notice that there is a fire ring in the right corner of the video here because we just arrived. There's a story there, and I'll tell it really quickly. So, we arrived here, we found the fire ring, put our tent up. As you can see, the fire ring above our red box there.
Right there, yep.
And while we were there, some person had pulled up and stopped in a FedEx uniform in a silver Toyota Tacoma and said that they were with the Forest Service, and they said, oh, no fire ring is there, and alluded to the fact that I shouldn't be camping here. But the fire ring was here. Other than that, they left it at that. They didn't try to enforce anything. It was a little suspicious, but I'm not sure. Just always make sure you're camping where there's a fire ring. You can see our battery set up in the left-hand corner. Our battery and Starlink box. That's what powered my office.
And right here, we're zipping on the roof of that extra 8x8. And it is kind of a pain, but once you kind of get over that little hump there at the top, it's not bad. It goes pretty quickly after that, but I'm not very tall, so I needed some help right there.
We found that if you started to corner one of those single fold poles and work your way around the whole perimeter, you can get it up pretty quickly. This is probably our 6th time setting it up.
And I think we probably put it up a little bit different every time, but...
So we've had the tent for 4 months and we've spent 6 weeks in it. That's a pretty good goal. Make sure that you got that ridge pole held up really nicely before you do anything else, because if you don't, you will bend that little hook on there, And I'm gonna tell you now, you're probably gonna bend that little hook on there because it slips out of your hand sometimes, or when you're putting it up or taking it down, it bends pretty easily. The next thing to note is that the Velcro, when you're putting these sides on, you want to start at the bottom on the wall of the canvas tent.
Mm-hmm.
You want to start the wall of the 8x8, Velcro it from the bottom up so it matches up at the top. But then there's the roof Velcros down onto the wall.
The side wall.
And we tore that. That was where we had torn it. I can put a picture.
That was probably
right
like
here.
the first or second time I think we had put it up.
Yep, it's a pretty decent tear. We'll get it patched up, but it's a learning lesson. The dog food box is a good thing to stand on to get the guide wire on. I mean, right here at this point in the process, we were 40 minutes in. Maybe
doing the
35 minutes in.
last final touches, really securing everything. We were expected to have wind, I think, pretty much every day we were going to be there, so we just really wanted to secure everything and get it nice and tight. And it did really well.
There wasn't a lot of rocks like Phantom Canyon. We were able to get all the stinks in decently.
Yes.
Stinks.
And then I like that we added these last little guide wires to the 8x8.
It helped, I think, in the wind for sure. It helped
We
hold
had
the heat
some
in.
friends come up and stay with us, and that's what they used. That very back 8x8 was their room.
Which was sufficient. It did well. They said it did well.
They were warm enough.
Yeah, and then
A
is for apple
and airplane.
Oh,
Sorry. Didn't see you there.
well, glad you could join us. So as you saw, it took us a total of 25 minutes for the 12x16 tent, and then another about 15 to 20 minutes for the 8x8s.
But short, sweet, and simple.
So 40 minutes, 45 minutes for the whole setup. Really is not that bad. And that's just for the tent setup. Obviously, we still had to unload our cots and the stove and set the stove in there for the stovepipe and everything. But all in all, not bad. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you like and subscribe. Comment down in the bottom if you would like to see how the inside of our tent setup goes. Anything you got to add to that?
Not much. Just check us out for the next video.
Thank you very much. Have a great one.